He didn't show me anything new. Joe Burrow's been tough.
Yeah.
I knew he was tough when he took 9 sacks, a playoff record during that Tennessee Titans playoff win that they got on their way to the Super Bowl. I said, this boy keeps getting back up and found a way to win that game. I mean, I don't know if I'm getting sacked 9 times and keep getting back up. That's a beating. That's a heck of a beating to take, and that's just the sacks. That's not even just the quarterback hits and how bruised up he was throughout that game. So I knew after that game the toughness he had was immeasurable. And so to see him go out in this ball game and try to push through an injury was very impressive, but it didn't surprise me. He's a tough person. I'm concerned because I've had calf injuries, and a calf injury is really nothing to snuff at. I know people are like, oh, it's just your calf. You feel that every single time you take a step, every time you get out of bed, every movement, every time you plant. And so he's toughing through this, and you hope that it's not as serious as we thought it was, and it was cool to see him out there.
Yeah, it was cool to see him out there, and I'm glad he was able to get out of there healthy. They needed him to play. And the reason they needed him to play, there's 2 things. One, which is big but not as big. They opened up their Ring of Honor last night. Okay, you don't want to go down to the Rams when you're doing all that with a loss. On top of that, you don't want to be 0-3. Okay, if you start off at 0-3 with the Cleveland Browns are suddenly looking like they can make some noise in the division, we already know how we feel about Baltimore, and then Pittsburgh ain't gonna go nowhere. So you don't want to wind up starting the season at 0-3.
It's just hard to come back.
It's hard to come back. Now all of a sudden, you get this going on with the coaches and the players and dissatisfaction, and all of a sudden we're losing. So he did the leadership thing despite getting the $270+ million or whatever his contract was, despite all that. He went out there to make sure that they were not going to go 0-3. So I tip my cap off to them. Now what they've got to do from a medical staff standpoint and a coaching standpoint is he doesn't need to practice all week long. He does not need to practice. Mental reps for him. Pat and go for him. All he needs to do is rehab and mental reps. So the next time he's on the field, there won't be much concern about what could potentially happen to the calf. Although it's still going to be there, like Richard said, it's something that you don't want to have to deal with. But if you take the necessary precaution to make sure that he's continuing to get healthy, I don't have a problem with him playing and they winning the football game. Not at all, Skip.
Okay. To me, playing with the calf in the state that it was in doesn't take toughness because it's not that painful. It's just nagging. It actually takes stupidity to play with the calf like that, and that's what he did. But he did it for the right reason.
Right reasons.
And they lived to tell.
Yeah.
And God bless him. I'm knocking on wood for him. It didn't seem like he tweaked it. There's one play, but it looked like he tweaked more of his ankle when it got caught underneath on a near sack. But he survived it. But now we get to quarterback toughness. And it's hard to gauge because quarterbacks come in so many different packages. And you have to have mental and physical toughness to endure that kind of a beating. As Richard pointed out, when you get sacked 9 times by the Titans, it's not fun to do that. It hurts. Maybe it doesn't hurt exactly the way you got hurt when you got clocked going over the middle.
It hurts no matter how you hit the ground.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Again, maybe you had a more violent collision in the secondary than he suffered in the pocket. It's hard, but usually you could see what was coming. Yeah. Sometimes he can't see what's coming.
No, you can get hit from the backside in a whiplash standpoint. A guy could tee off on your helmet. Even if he doesn't hit helmet to helmet, he can hit you trying to get you, and that power and that blow comes at a different level. Plus, you typically, if I'm being tackled by Richard Sherman is 210 pounds, and let's say I'm being tackled by Richard and the safety, that might be 400 pounds total. They might be getting hit by 2 dudes that's over 300. That's 600 pounds plus. So it's a different tackling, so to speak, a different hit, so to speak, a different weight on top of him. He deserves the money that he's gotten. You certainly don't want to see him continue to get beat up.
No.
You know, they've got to do some things to protect him up front, whether it's sliding line protection, leaving guys in the chip, whatever the case may be. In the end, he is tough. That's for sure. You got to tip your hat off to him.
But he doesn't look the part of tough off the field.
Well, he's a big
Right.
guy. He's not
He's
small.
He's taller than you think.
Yeah, he's taller. And when
What
you
does
talk,
that mean?
Tom Brady's big too. Tom Brady's not
6'4".
small.
Yeah.
So, you know, when
is
you're
that?
big and you're taking them hits, your body could sustain that more so than a smaller quarterback.
Yeah. All right. So you guys still you prefer Mahomes over Joe Burrow?
Just because I said that, I'm not taking Joe Burrow.
Yes, we
I
still feel the same way,
I
Skip.
think
It
I
ain't
led you
changed.
right down the
No,
path
you
into
did
Joe
not
Burrow.
lead me. I just like Joe Burrow's toughness. But Patrick Mahomes was tough too. You do realize he's been out there hobbling around on broken ankles and all type of craziness.
I give you that.
Okay, all
Never brought that up. I'll
right.
still take Joe Burrow when he's right, when he's healthy. And I think he's getting healthy.
Again, Cincinnati wouldn't take Joe Burrow over Patrick
Yes,
Mahomes.
they would.
Oh,
Oh,
please.
stop.
Man, you just talking now.
Accuracy. Come on.
I can't with this dude, man.
All right.
Can't.
Let's get back to the only team that matters in the National Football League, the Dallas Cowboys. Will their Super Bowl hopes be over if they don't beat the Patriots on Sunday? You could make that case.
What Super Bowl hopes?
Yeah.
The wild card playoff.
Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Do you want more highlights from the show? Make sure to click that subscribe button for all the exclusive content from Undisputed.